Hi, everybody. Al Bernstein here with another one of our boxing hangouts. And this one is going to be fun because not only are we going to get to preview a terrific event that I'm going to be involved with this weekend on May 22nd, also May 21st, I should add. May 22nd, it's Knockout Night at the D, which I'm going to be announcing on CBS Sports Net with my good friend Barry Tompkins. We'll have a third mate on the broadcast, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. And then the night before that, I'm going to be hosting a special evening at the Fremont Experience in Las Vegas that's going to be leading up to the match. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go on. But we're going to first talk to a very special guest here who is going to be on hand for that event as well. His name is Mike Lee. You may know of him as a undefeated light heavyweight fighter who is 14-0. Brings a very special and interesting background to the ring. And Mike, first of all, welcome to the Hangout.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, you were supposed to fight on this card, the Knockout Night at the D, but as it turns out, you can't. Explain to the fans what's happened.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I wanted to go for 15-0 in Las Vegas. Vegas has been great to me. I think I'm 7-0 in Vegas, so I wanted to continue the streak. But I had injured my back actually before the last fight on CBS Sports, and my team and I decided to just get a shot of cortisone a few weeks before and go through with the fight. And although I got a second round knockout, my back kind of started to deteriorate, and when we got an MRI, it looked like I had 2 herniated discs. So we tried to work it out this camp and do as much as we could, but at the end of the day, I'm just not able to perform at that level that I'm used to. So unfortunately, I won't be fighting, but I know the recovery process, won't be long, and we're just hoping to get back in the ring as soon as possible.
What do you have to do to kind of get the injury under control? Is it primarily rest and therapy, or what is it?
That really is it, primarily rest and therapy. The thing about back injuries, which is so tough, is I'm a person who wants to be on the go. And with back injuries, you really do need to take time off, focus on physical therapy, focus on icing, being at the chiropractor, all those type of things. So I'm going to attack it aggressively, but be really smart about it. And I have an awesome team around me here in LA that's, ready to help. And, I'll be able to solve this quickly, but it's one of those things I need to sit back and take my time, I guess.
Now, for people that aren't aware of your background, you're 27, you're undefeated, as we mentioned, and you came to boxing while in college at the University of Notre Dame. You ended up getting your degree in business, and you got involved in amateur boxing. Did you think when you started boxing that it was going to be something you would try to do professionally? Clearly, you went to school to do other things, and you're very eclectic with many different interests. But did you think early on in the process boxing might be something you might pursue professionally?
No, to be honest, early on, I didn't think in my wildest dreams that I'd be fighting in Madison Square Garden or Cowboy Stadium or be on these Subway commercials. I mean, it all has just been a giant snowball effect. Once it started, it just took off. But I started fighting when I was about 15 years old. Actually, first brought into a ring when I was 8, and then was playing other sports. But it was really when I was about 15 and 16 I started. But then didn't start fighting in the amateurs until I was about 18 or 19. And then when I got into college and when I started winning and doing well and Top Rank wanted to sign me, I thought, I want to go for this. I knew that I love the sport. I've been doing really well, and I felt that if I did it the right way, I had a chance to win a world title. And I knew that no matter what I did, as long as, I went for it, at least, one day when I'm laying in my deathbed, I could say that, I put all the chips on the table and I went for it. So I have no regrets regarding that.
Yeah, it's intriguing. And you are now training with Chris Bird, is serving as your trainer. And Chris, who we've had on the Hangout here a number of times, and of course I called a number of his fights when he was a heavyweight champion of the world. Chris is a great teacher and a really good ring technician. And for you, without massive amounts of experience, I would think that's really beneficial.
Extremely beneficial. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to link up with Chris. Chris was an undersized heavyweight who really dominated the division. He was a 2-time world champion, in his prime, and so I wanted to find someone who was on the same, the same level with me and looked eye to eye in terms of the fighting style. And Al, that in this sport, it's not just about being in wars. It's a chess game at that elite level. And Chris, his nickname was the Slip Master. So I wanted to learn his defensive strategies and, even more importantly, his defensive mindset. And so I knew that once I started fighting these elite fighters and getting these bigger fights, that having that mindset of how to, hit and don't be hit, so to speak, is really important.
Well, and you've been obviously making progress at that, and the point is you've had to learn on the as a pro to a great extent, because you didn't come in with 300 amateur fights or 150 or
For
whatever.
Sure.
And so that's getting this kind of training is really helpful. Now, while you take this little respite from boxing, you're not completely inactive as it relates to the sport, and you won't be this weekend because first let's take a look at what's going to happen this weekend. We'll look at the card and what is going to go on this weekend at the Las Vegas Event Center, the downtown Las Vegas Event Center, which is on right by the downtown area. The D Hotel and Casino is the sponsoring event. It's going to be a great card of boxing, featuring a lightweight title fight. Also, Chuy Gutierrez is going to be involved as a fighter, and we're going to have a fun card. The night before, we're going to have a special event at the Fremont Experience where you and I are going to co-host the like a pre-fight party bash, if you will. We're going to be interviewing different folks, and we're going to have some entertainment and all the rest. Let me ask you about the fact that you have already sat in on a couple of the broadcasts that were on CBS Sports Net, and you're going to be sitting in with Barry Tompkins and I doing the broadcast on this particular fight card. The broadcasting part of this, is this something that you thought of in recent months, or is this something that was kind of thrust upon you?
In a way, it was thrust upon me, but I find that I'd done a lot of either talk shows or sports analysis on boxing for different outlets, and I love talking about the sport. And so I felt that it was kind of not only a nice transition, but something that could only help me inside the ring, because I found myself studying other fighters in ways that I never did before. So, the first time I did the broadcast, my first broadcast ever for CBS Sports, I was surprised how much I loved it. I sat down and felt the energy, and it was definitely, I've sat in the crowd before, but to be up that close and basically give people an insight into what exactly the fighters are thinking and why they're doing this and why they're doing that, it was really special for me. And after that night, I thought to myself, wow, this is something I could really see myself doing. And, to be on air with you and Barry is, truly an honor. You guys are just legends, and I watch you guys all the time. So, to be honest, I'm like a little kid right now. I'm ecstatic. It's going to be fun.
It'll be fun. And, the interesting thing about this is there are no, for boxing, unlike other sports, there are fewer outlets for people to get experience. It's like, if whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, especially football and basketball, there are hundreds of universities around the United States that all have radio and sometimes television. There's all these pro teams. There's so many outlets for people to get some experience. Not so much in boxing. So it is a great chance and a great opportunity, and we're looking forward to it. And you're obviously an articulate guy who I know wants to do it the right way, and we'll enjoy having you be on the broadcast with us.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really excited, and you're exactly right. Boxing's a much different sport than a lot of the other major sports where there's not as many outlets. But I love that boxing is being shown so much on TV, and a lot of that is right. A lot of that is due to Al Heyman and Premier Boxing Champions, but Top Rank as well, and Golden Boy 2 on Fox Sports 1. So I love that now casual sports fans are getting a chance to see boxing and really learn boxing, and not just see Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao.
Right.
Because I know a lot of fans were at least sports fans were a little bit upset with the lack of action, so to speak. But I encourage regular sports fans that want to try out boxing to start watching the fights on NBC, on CBS Sports, and they're really going to see some good cards and some great fighters, and I think they're going to understand the sport more, which really makes it more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, when you think about the fact that boxing's on NBC, CBS, ESPN, Showtime, HBO, True TV now. Now there's going to be a card on BET. You know, the sport is having this boom, or it's proliferating. You made the point; it's a valid one. You can't, you know, part of the thing is casual fans come in to watch a big single event. What they should realize is the landscape is dotted with great fights and exciting fights. And really, what we're going to do on Friday night's a perfect example. It's going to be a really nice card, a lot of competitive fights, and fans on CBS Sports Network will have a chance to take a look at it. So yeah, it's good for people to be able to sample the sport. Now you have your background, and I didn't really delve into this, is you went to Notre Dame, you got your business degree there, and when you got that degree and when you were doing it, what did you envision for yourself beyond this boxing? What was the reason to get the business degree, and is that the area that most interests you?
So it's interesting. I grew up in Chicago, and I was working at the
Chicago. Did I? What part of town did you guys grow up in?
I grew up in Naperville and then spent a lot of time downtown. My dad lived in Bucktown.
Okay.
I was about 17, 18. So a little bit of the city and a little bit of the suburbs.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I knew that about you, Al.
I'm a South Sider. Well, then I lived on the North Side. We're doing Chicago geography for the rest of the world. But plus it's fascinating, right?
Exactly. We're educating the masses.
Yeah, exactly. So you grew up in Chicago, and then you're telling us a little bit about how this business thing started.
Sure. So I started the Chicago Board of Trade because my cousin had worked there, and so at 16, 17 years old, I was a runner in the pit, and it was really So and basically my days consisted of this, and even in the summers, I would work at the Chicago Board of Trade in the pit, and then I would go to the boxing gym in the evening. And it was two different types of adrenaline rushes because down in the pit it's loud, people are screaming, and I thought to myself, wow, maybe I could be a trader. And then I'd go to the Windy City gym and I'd fight, and I think to myself, wow, I'm getting pretty good at this. Maybe I could be a fighter. So I think no matter what I got into, I knew that I loved that high risk, high reward mentality, whether it was in sports or finance. And so, when I got into Notre Dame, it was a dream come true, and I knew I wanted to continue, both careers, so to speak. And I guess I just didn't realize how good I was getting at boxing and how quickly I was learning the sport. But I had an offer to turn pro from Top Rank right before I graduated, and my parents quickly slapped me on the head and said, "Listen, you're getting your degree first, and then we can entertain those offers." And I'm glad they did. But basically, I'd say a couple months after I graduated from Notre Dame, they moved me down to Houston, Texas, and I started training with Ronnie Shields, and the rest is history.
That's good. Well, and you're at a point now in your career where you're getting ready to step up the level of competition. And what do you see for yourself after this the slight layoff when you try and tweak the back problems? What do you see coming up in the next 6 to 8 months for you?
Well, I see myself fighting, 8-rounders, 10-rounders only, and after I fix this back, just getting active, basically, and learning on the job. I mean, like you mentioned, I don't have that big amateur background, but I'm sure, as you know, there's a lot of fighters who have made it to that elite level that don't necessarily do. Many. Right. So, like Sergio Martinez or like Chavez Jr., I guess I am kind of learning on the job, but the key is just to keep learning, keep getting these fights, keep building my resume in the ring, and one day keep rising the ranks. Then one day when I do get a chance to fight for the title, to just be ready for it.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, and I want to remind fans that they'll have a chance to meet you, for the fans in Las Vegas or people coming to Las Vegas. You're going to have a chance to meet Mike because on May 21st, this Thursday, he and I will be out on at the Fremont Experience in downtown Las Vegas for a pre-fight party bash, and then the next evening we'll be at the downtown Las Vegas Event Center, where we'll have the Card of Boxing, and Mike's going to be on hand there, and also will be participating with us on the broadcast. So my final question to you, though I think I know the answer to this: White Sox fan or Cubs fan?
White Sox, baby. South side.
Now, I am a little bit of a traitor because I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I do like the White Sox, and I'm very happy that they won the World Series. And I'm not, I know Sox and Cubs fans oftentimes have a little bit of animosity toward each other.
Sure.
Like as in death threats. But but I did grow up to be, even though I lived on the southwest side, I ended up being a Cubs fan. But I do like the White Sox. And my family is completely divided. There's half Sox fans, half Cubs fans, so we're all divided. But I mad respect to the White Sox. So.
Definitely. I mean, I still hold on to the fact that we won the World Series 10 years ago. I still pretend like it's yesterday.
You had to bring that up, didn't you? You had to mention that. My brother-in-law, who is a diehard, Sox fan, who's 80 years old, brings that up to me about every 4 days when I talk to him on the phone. So I'm used to that. And but you got to admit, currently the Cubs are looking pretty good, huh?
The Cubs are looking great, and not to mention, I love going to Wrigley. I mean, Wrigley might be a better fan experience. It's just, a legendary place. So
yeah, it's pretty fun. Well, hey, listen, we are looking forward to. I'm looking forward to doing the knockout night at the D. I'm looking forward to seeing you the night before, and having fun on the broadcast. And I know my pal Barry Tompkins, who is a great guy, and as you say, a great broadcaster, will enjoy it as well, Mike. And we're looking forward to you getting healthy and coming back in the ring.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, May 22nd, CBS Sports. It's going to be a great night. We've got some great fights.
Should be a lot of fun. So watch us on CBS Sports Network if you're outside of the Las Vegas area. And if you're in Las Vegas, come over, get a ticket, or come by our event the night before, which is a free event where we're going to give away a lot of prizes as well, including tickets to the fight. So it should be a lot of fun. My thanks to Mike Lee. Mike, thank you for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
All right. We will have more boxing hangouts for you as we continue on. Don't forget to check out our quick hits. I have a quick hits video that talks about the upcoming fight between Adrian Broner and Sean Porter, which is a fascinating fight coming up in June in Las Vegas. One of the fights that Mike alluded to that fans can see on NBC. It's going to be a very intriguing fight. So check out my quick hits video on that, and we'll see you next time in our next hangout.